What's up, everyone? Welcome back to MIGGZPLAYZ. Today, I have a very special guest. We talk on the Instagrams, so it's gonna be fun. Today, we're talking with Mister Atlas Neon, Mister Neon. Yeah, Mister Neon. Why not? Mister Neon's got himself a pretty cool outfit, which you guys will see right now as I bring him in. So here we go. Let me see. I know he's trying to mess around with his camera. He looks a little sad. I don't know. You guys tell me.
Oh, hi.
What's up, Mister Neon?
Hi. It says that my camera has stopped working because slow camera read, which I can maybe fix that later with a different memory card. I'm not sure. It's my first time doing it.
Check
Can you guys hear
check
me?
the cable. Check the cable on your mic. It's distorting.
The cable on the mic is distorted? Oh, no.
No.
Oh, no.
Oh no. Yeah, it's distorting, my man.
Oh, man. Oh, how about...
Yeah.
Do you want me to close and enter back into the chat?
Yeah, do that.
Fix it? Well, let's try that. Let's see here. Give me just a sec, guys. Leaving.
That's some heavy metal distortion right there, son. So he'll be back. He's got a bit of a we before the stream we did a little bit of a test stream, and like the mic has a bit of an issue, so he'll be back. He'll join the thing. So I hope everybody's been great this week. As you can see, it's been a crazy couple of weeks getting everybody here. So if you're an artist and you want me to check out your music, either review it or if you want to be on the podcast talking about your jams, which is kind of like we do that a little bit, but we go into other things. Like I set up a few custom questions that I come up with just during the day, and that's what I ask. So what I do is that I go through your IG page, get a little bit of a vibe, check out your music, and then I'll ask you questions based around things that I see, not necessarily the music itself, but obviously we talk about the music because that's why we're here for. This is why this is MIGGZPLAYZ. We talk about the music artists, regardless if you're a local band, if you're a signed band, whatever it is, you can jump on here and we'll talk. All right, so let's see with Mr. Neon.
Is that better?
Oh, that's way better,
oh
my
my
man.
God. Technology.
It just needed a refresh. It needed a refresh.
Gosh, I hope that works, and I hope my.
So before we do anything, Mr. Neon, can you show everybody how great that outfit looks?
Oh, my snazzy my trees. Oh.
Why how did you come up with the name Discount Yezzy Deadpool?
Well, I got a little cold at night, so I came up with the name alone in the shower, crying where no one could see me, and it kind of just came. Atlas is actually my son's name. I have a toddler, and his name's Atlas, and he's the whole reason I do everything.
Oh, nice.
Little things to remind me of him along the way. So yeah, that's part of it. And then this whole thing, my camera turned off, didn't it?
Yes, it did.
So the whole Yeezy aspect of it actually happened because the artist who created the helmet, his name is Neon Dazer. He's a Russian artist and he does really exceptional stuff. So I was trying to get my hands on one of the first prototypes of the Yeezy foam helmet because this wasn't really supposed to go into production, and it was just kind of like a fake thing they did, for like social media clout. So, anyways, I have one. Well, actually, I have two. I have.
Oh shit! You got two of them.
The magnetic one, which is like 2 pieces, which is not great for dancing, but it's great for photo shoots. And then I got this, and he's making me a pink glow in the dark one, which should be pretty.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
So what is it like? Is it like the shoes, like they're rubberized?
So actually, no, these are 3D printed. So I'm not even sure what it is. It's a composite of some sort.
Okay, so it's like resin made something.
Yeah, it's just printed, and this one's really tight because I have a small head, and I don't know why my camera keeps doing that, but I pressed record. At least I thought I did.
So the way that it fits on, like what you're wearing underneath, like the black thing, is that part of it to stay on?
No, so there's like another mask here, and I don't know if you can see it. I hit record. Oh yeah, I can see myself.
Yeah.
So yeah, I have another layer here, and this one obviously is just a Tron suit. If you're familiar with Tron.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna get a custom made one at some point from this other company that makes like these really cool geometric patterns. So hopefully it'll happen in the future because this one, doesn't
dude, that bulge, man.
So when I gotta go, I got.
Is that actual size?
Yes, brother.
Oh my God,
Lots of
ladies,
Viagra
ladies.
on today, so I wanted to, impress, flex to impress. And
Ladies, if you want to hit up
yeah.
Atlas Neon, his links are in the description. Please.
Oh no,
Please.
lady, I'm taken right now. I'm in a situationship, like all it's the fad, it's all the rage.
Oh, that's the perfect time. Well, ladies, if you want to hit him up, go to the.
So like I'm single, so if you're gonna holler, whisper, you gotta whisper my direction.
Poke him on Facebook. Just poke him.
Oh,
So, Mister, what is that on your camera? I see something move. What is it? Movie recording
yeah, that's what I said earlier. It's the card. I don't know.
has been stopped.
I
I'm reading it backwards.
I can change the card. I don't know what's wrong with the card. It kept
It
saying
probably is the card. Oh, okay.
Huh.
Oh,
I
there you
just
go.
deleted everything on the card earlier today, so maybe
Sweet. All right, there you go.
format
All
it.
right, so what we're going to do is that we're going to play one of your new singles.
Oh,
All
no.
right. I know you just released the whole Nine Inch Nails one, which I heard earlier. By the way, it's fantastic. What is that?
Oh
There's little bongos. What is that?
no, yeah. I was gonna bring this along when we start playing our song.
Oh, sweet. Okay.
Oh,
So, who was the name? What's the name of the singer in this track?
no. Oh, so this one is my good friend Neil, and he's exceptional. And I'm sorry that my camera is obviously, like I said, first time doing this.
It's all right. It's all right. We all understand.
Yeah, my friend Neil's in a group called The Great Shapes out here in El Paso, Texas, and he's an exceptional singer. And you did help us with some of the processing on his vocals. So, yeah, he did the vocals on this, which is a lot of fun. And then my friend Jared Guatemala did the guitar work. He's in Boulder, Colorado, and he's exceptional. So, yeah, I mean, go ahead and roll it. I mean, I'm going to
jam
have
it.
camera problems.
If you want to do a Fortnite dance, you're more than welcome to, my man.
I mean, I know a few dances. I mean, I can improvise.
Here we go. Here we go.
Let's see here. Let's turn it up.
There you go. Yeah. Hell, that's a jam, bro. I can't dance either. This is what best I'm doing. You're getting it here first, Mr. Atlas Neon. Jamming it out.
No one to call, but all this time under the disco ball. You're moving in the light, you're moving in the light, as we're moving in the night. I just like the way you're moving in the light.
You got this. You got yes. Play the bongos. Yes. Bongo solo. Bongo solo.
And I see you dancing alone with a drink and a cellular phone.
I freaked out for a second. It's all right. It's all good.
But all this time under the disco ball. I just like the way.
You can't say this doesn't want to make you move. Woo! Guitar solo and everything. Satisfy the metalheads.
And my boy's got some skill. His fucking solo skills are awesome.
A little bit of that synthwave bass.
I just like the way you move it in the light. midnight. I just like the way you move it in the light. Move it in the light as we move it at midnight. I just like the way you move it in the light. You move it in the light as we move it at midnight.
Nice.
Nice, man.
Thank you, bro. Thank
That's
you
a
for sharing
jam,
that.
bro.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun.
Your mic is breaking up again, man.
I know. I don't know if it's my internet or what happening
Is it?
because my,
No,
my
you got
camera
full
stopped
bars.
on my side too. I can refresh it, and I also want to grab that SD card to pop in the camera real quick to see what's going on.
Do it, man. Do it.
So let me
We'll
see.
be here. We'll be here.
Yeah. So yeah. What
That song is a jam, man.
Thank
I-
you so much.
I've been following your stuff for a while. I think it's probably been about a year. I've been catching your music and your posts and stuff. And you have like this weird like way of just mixing. Well, it's not weird. It's like you have a good way of mixing like pop and synth wave and a little bit of EDM. And I don't know how the hell you managed to do it, man. But like you have like a good blend of everything going on. How did you come up with that?
Honestly, it's like really everything that I'm into and influenced by it. I've kind of just smashed it all together over the years, and now it's kind of just become like my signature. Like I think a lot of people that are even in some other producer groups I'm in, they're like, "Oh yeah, that sounds like Atlas. That sounds like Atlas." And I use a lot of similar, bass sounds, and I kind of have a repertoire, like a palette now. I would say maybe somewhere like in the range of 150 sounds that I kind of just use it to just make all my songs now. So it's not like I'm designing the sounds anymore. I kind of have who I am now as far as like my voice, and now I'm just trying to like write material faster and finish material faster, and obviously influenced by all that stuff. I think I can't agree with you that I feel like I've done an okay job kind of like mending it all together.
Mhm.
Digestible, and it sounds like it was supposed to be that way and not like it was a mashup, you know what I mean? Because a lot of time mashups are kind of cringy or kind of don't really hit the mark on all the levels. And
Yeah.
I wanted to just feel like when you hear it, you're like, oh, that's how it was supposed to be, not that it was ever two different things. So yeah, that's kind of how I developed that. So
Because it's awesome, man. You know what? I was going to tell you this. Let's try this. Can you try lowering the gain on your mic?
yeah, I think I can.
Because I hear like.
How about now? A little less?
No, it's still there. It's the digital processing.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
I have everything else closed on this too, unfortunately.
It's freaking out. So the way that I do this show is that I ask you questions, not necessarily based on music. This is more for people to get to know you personally, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I did a little snooping, a little bit of snooping through IG, right? And I know that you drive a Tesla, right?
Oh, yes.
I checked out your YouTube channel and I saw you had an Audi back then.
Yeah.
So can you tell us what the story was there? Why did you get rid of the Audi and get the Tesla? And what are your thoughts on Elon Musk?
Oh, so the Audi and the Tesla thing was pretty easy. So I used to actually work for Audi out here in Texas, and I worked for them for about 2.5 years, and that's what I did. I sold cars. So I made my, that was my day job, and I was always obsessed with the RS3, and I was a big car guy at the time, and I ordered one, and it never came in. So
What?
it never,
What?
Yeah, because there was some weird backlog on parts.
How does that happen?
It's just like the pandemic and shit caused a bunch of delays and chips and things like that, and the R model I ordered was just back ordered, so it never came in. And then eventually I wanted to upgrade my car, so I was like, well, if I can't get the Audi I've always wanted, I mean, I've kind of always wanted a Tesla just to check them out. So I got the Tesla.
Mhm.
It's a lot of fun. And then my Audi came out of nowhere, just popped up, but it was like the next year. So I
Jesus
was like,
Christ.
you know what? Honestly, it was kind of like a business move. Like the RS3 is pretty highly sought after and desirable, so
Mhm.
I took both cars, and I had both cars for maybe 6 months, and then eventually I just flipped the Audi because a lot of people really wanted that car and they're looking for it. So I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna flip it because
Mhm.
as much as I loved it for a daily car, like just day-to-day driving, I prefer the Tesla because just the instant throttle response and how fast it is, and had a little more space for me and my kid. Honestly, like RS3 is more of a bachelor car kind of thing. Um,
Yeah.
so yeah, I just kept the Tesla, and Tesla's phenomenal.
Did you drive a Tesla before buying the Tesla, or was it the first Tesla you ever drove?
Yeah, I've test driven some. We had them at the dealership, so I was pretty familiar with what I was walking into. It did have some problems, like right off the gate. I mean, like the sunroof would leak water in the car wash. That was fucking awesome.
Oh God.
And then some other little annoying things, but that was the main big one, like the car wash. I don't know what the hell was going on with that. So I had all that stuff fixed. That was fun. Um, but yeah, I mean, Elon, sure. I mean, there's a lot to say about that guy. Like, I mean, I don't even know where to begin, really. Like, I think he's pretty phenomenal as far as a human being, as far as challenging everybody on different ideas. And a lot of his beliefs are kind of uniquely his own. And at the same time, I can kind of see him pandering to different sides. You know,
Mhm.
play the middle road. I think he's doing a pretty superb job of trying to play the middle road. And then at the same time, the whole AI thing and stuff like that is pretty, like, I don't want to say scary, but I know it's going to happen faster than we expect. I think within the next few years,
Mhm.
we're going to be where we thought we would be in 20 years. And then in 5 years, we'll be where we thought we would have been in 30 years. And then by 10 years, literally would have felt like 100 years of technology has passed, because I think AI is going to take over that quickly. So, yeah, it kind of cool that he's around. I like him. He's cool. He keeps me up at night with his tweets.
Oh, it's right with his tweets. All right, all right, all right, Atlas. So this is what I'm gonna ask you to do, because it's still kind of like breaking up. So just bring the gain
Yeah.
back up, because I thought it was a distortion thing, but bring the gain a
Oh,
little
okay.
bit more up, or to where it was, I guess.
Okay.
Okay, and then try coming in and out again.
Oh, yeah, I can do that real quick. And then, do you want me to go get that camera card thing?
If you want, yeah, you can grab that. I'll do a little bit of R&R over here
All right,
while
cool.
you're getting that going.
Let me do that real quick. Give me a sec. And leave it.
We got to give him a second because his mic is distorting. He doesn't use the mic too much, and I think it's one of his cables are having an issue, but it's all right. Whatever. It is what it is. Welcome, guys, to MIGGZPLAYZ. Thank you guys for watching. We're 20 minutes in, and we're streaming live right now on Twitch and YouTube. So thank you to all the followers there, guys. Please like the video. Go subscribe on YouTube and follow on Twitch. So I got to remember these terms now, because I guess this is the thing that I'm doing. But if you guys need an easier way of doing it, so here is my IG. This is my IG. You guys can go follow me there. Go check it out. I also have the YouTube link right here, guys. This is the YouTube link. Go check it out. I'd rather it be Twitch than YouTube. YouTube is a little finicky when I play music, so I've already gotten a few copyright strikes. It's whatever. It is what it is. I don't expect to, like, it's not my music, and I have a disclaimer in the videos, but YouTube doesn't read that. They don't care. They just go, no, you played somebody else's music. You're trying to steal it, which is not true. I don't take any artist. I don't take any credit for anything that the artists do. That's all on them. And I have that there, guys. So if you guys want to, that's already there, guys. Please, I've said this before. You don't have to, but if you want to, I have a Cash App link if you guys want to donate to the channel. I'm trying to upgrade the computer, trying to get a better internet connection set up with cables. Right now I'm using my laptop. Unfortunately, my laptop doesn't have like a direct cable connection, so it's a little weird. I'm trying to get it going. But sometimes when I watch the video back, if I watch it on Restream, I don't lag. But I'm pretty sure if I go back and watch it, I'll have a little bit of like lagging going on. So I'm trying to upgrade the computer just so I can get that going for you guys. I'm thinking about going Windows. So if you guys have any good recommendations for a pre-built computer, let me know in the comments. Let me know in the comments below, and I will go check them out. I was considering getting, what was it? I've had friends that bought Aliens and they don't like them too much. So what I'm considering was I think it was a PC Power, or I have a friend of mine that can build computers, and I was thinking about going on a shopping spree with him on Newegg and seeing what we put together. But we never know. We never know. I don't know what happens. So if you guys have any recommendations for computers, let me know. I will check them out. So okay. I thought I had a chat. It was just my comment thing for the Restream thing. That's nice. Okay, cool. So yeah, guys. If you want to do that, you don't have to. I know that everybody works hard for their money, but if you want to donate, every penny is definitely appreciated, and you will be loved. I will shout you guys out. If you have any questions for Mr. Atlas Neon or for me, let me know. I have the chats open right now. If you guys want to jump in, that you're more than welcome to. What do I got? What else I got over here? What a bro. I don't even know what I got, bruh. Besides that, right? All right. So we're waiting for Mr. Atlas Neon. Just a little bit of upkeep. As you guys saw Wednesday, I didn't stream. That's because I have to kill Wednesdays. Can't do Wednesdays, guys. I have some stuff coming up that I can't do. It's taking up a lot of my time. So Wednesdays I can't stream. So for right now, it's only going to be Monday and Friday. My schedule is kind of a little bit all over the place. So that might change in the near future. But for now, at least we got Mondays and Fridays. Like I was saying earlier, if you guys have any music you guys want me to check out, you guys want me to, if you guys are in a band and you want me to review your music, if you guys want to be on the podcast talking, I'll make up some questions for you guys and you guys can jump on here and just be yourselves. This is what this is about. This is more than just the music. This is about getting to know the artist in a personal level, seeing the things that they like, what inspires them to make music, and how they live their daily lives. I have a few questions for Mr. Atlas Neon when he hops back on that he's going to probably be like, I never expected that. So yeah, that's what I do. I go and I snoop through your Instagram and your social medias because that's why it's there. It's a public thing. And I ask you questions based on what I see. Hydration fluid. Oh, yes. Oh, the hydration. Nice. So yeah, so while we're waiting for Mr. Atlas Neon, I hope you guys enjoyed the jam. This is the first time I had somebody dance on the podcast. So that's gonna be a clip. That's definitely a clip right there. We're gonna be both just jamming to the jams. So right now, I'm working on a progressive rock project. You guys have probably heard me say this on the past streams, but I'm working on a progressive rock project. It's all solo stuff. It's just me. I have a few singers that are going to be featured on it. So far, I have 3, and I have 3 songs, and we're working on the 4th one. That's been my thing for the last like 3 weeks. So I'm taking my time with it. You know, before when I was writing rock music, it was very like, okay, let's write it, let's get it done in a day, and just hammer it out. I'm doing this one slow. I'm trying to do this right, properly, right? I have somebody working on artwork from I think he's from Los Angeles, California. He's working on the artwork for it. So once that gets done, we're gonna move from there and we're gonna see where we post it. So I think Mr. Atlas Neon is back. Is he on his
I'm
phone?
sorry, I just decided to join on my mobile.
Hey, that's fine.
I wanted you guys to see me and hear me clearly, and I honestly don't know what's going on because I got new streaming equipment that I've never used. Newbie mistake. However, I want to be present with you guys and not like fumbling around with my technology. So hi.
That's a lot better. Hey, put it horizontal
Oh,
so you can fill up the screen. Yeah, there you go.
All right.
All right, there you go. That whole face.
Oh, how do I?
Hey, that's the face of that. Wow, that's zoomed in like a motherfucker.
Damn.
You can see that bulge, son.
Oh, yeah. Don't.
You gotta sit all the way back
I'm
there.
gonna have to put you sitting down right now because the Viagra is actually kicking in a little bit, so I don't want to scare you too much.
The Viagra's kicking in. Is how he just said.
It's actually hinged. It's generic Viagra.
Is that how he just said the Viagra's kicking in?
Yeah, I took a little Viagra.
Oh my
God.
God.
I knew I was going to be dancing on your show, and I was like, oh.
You know, the mix, I assume that the mix of the Viagra along with the yerba mate that you were drinking earlier is probably not a good combination.
You know, I'm not too sure. I feel a little funky right now.
Well, listen, if you pass out on stream, I will tell the police.
Okay,
all right?
Please.
Are you sweating underneath that thing?
Well, surprisingly not yet, because I turned up my AC earlier, anticipating that I'd be wearing this. But you know, if I had to dance any longer, I would probably definitely sweat.
Well, sorry for making you dance.
No, I've never even played a full show yet, because this is like this persona I've just kind of discovered recently, and I think by the time I do play a full show, I'm gonna sweat like crazy. So I know the next suit that I'm gonna get made has like sweat area thingies, like it opens up here.
Get sweat pads.
Kind of just like a little more. I don't know. I've been thinking of cutting parts of the arms off, but I mean that's why I did the capris. Yeah. Honestly, it's so much cooler, and I I look silly as fuck, so I think that's a plus. You know,
Well,
everyone loves a
like,
Jaden
is
Capri.
the Tron suit that you have on, is it breathable? Because it looks like it's breathable.
Yeah, a little bit. It's like a spandexy. I can definitely spray deodorant through it. Like I've experimented with that,
Yeah.
so I'm like, if I get a little bit funky, pull out the Axe effect. You know,
Do you have anything? Do you have any shows lined up or no? You haven't planned
I,
anything yet.
no, actually, no. I'm really just focused on finishing this album, and then I've got a couple like what the hell would I call them? Um, oh man, I can't even think of it. Like concept albums, I guess I would say, that are just short EPs that are completely off the beaten path of like what I'm doing, but still uniquely my own. And
That
then
that's the magic of artistry. You can do
yeah,
whatever you want.
yeah. So I mean, I intend to play shows this year at some point.
Mhm.
I got some decks earlier, and I've kind of just been teaching myself them with YouTube videos. So it's kind of like I just want to know enough so when I do perform,
Mhm.
it's enjoyable, and I'm not like mashing up my own songs together on the decks like where it's like too shitty. I want to know enough about that because it's a
Yeah,
process. Like
it's
really,
yeah, it's better than just hitting like. Because I know I've seen you playing around with the turntables on your Instagram. Like, is
Mhm.
that something you're going to use live, the Panasonic, or are you just like? Because
Yeah,
some
yeah.
some DJs just hit play on their Logic and that's it. But
No, yeah. For me, I want to just do it that way because, like, at least for most, I guess you say producers, DJs in America,
Mhm.
they use decks, and really, it's just about kind of like chopping your own stuff together and
Mhm.
then mixing in remixes here and there of other people's songs. That's kind of like I did that Nine Inch Nails thing. I've got this Will
Yeah.
Smith one I'm gonna drop soon. I
Mhm.
shared a preview of some like Seven Nation Army remix that's sick as fuck that I got going on. Just a bunch of random shit like that. Like people just like to hear random stuff in the middle of a set, so it's not just like your music. You drop in things that can relate to stuff like that, and it just kind of feels. I don't know. That's just to me. That's how I perceived all the shows I go to, in the States or when I would go to Red Rocks when I was in Colorado. They'd
Yeah.
always drop other people's music into their sets. It's fun, you know. So that'll be my thing. I really don't intend on performing like my stuff live. Like I spent maybe the first 15 years of my life or longer dedicated to playing guitar and playing live and doing stuff like that and caring
Yeah.
about live performances. And now to me, the performance is just like the music, the persona, the vibe, and being like one with the people. Like to me, that's my time to get to kind of like not shine, but just like really enjoy the vibe of
Mhm.
seeing people jive with my music. Because like producing is a one-man show, and you spend so many
Yeah.
fucking hours behind the computer, up at night, and all this shit working on
Yeah.
this to get it to a certain point, and then once it's there, now I get to actually
Mhm.
experience that with other people. And it's not like I'm going to produce in front of them. Like I want to just jam out with them and enjoy
Yeah.
the vibe, enjoy the whole like ambiance of like being in a crowd and stuff like that. So I don't know. I guess that's how I'm perceiving it with this persona. I mean, if I was going to play anything, it'd be like a bass or a guitar. Obviously,
Yeah.
I could do something like that. I could incorporate it. Will I? To be seen. We'll see what happens. Like I'm just getting this going. This is all so new to me, and I'm just seeing what envelopes and what it turns into because I really don't know where it's going. I'm just enjoying the ride right now.
So you played guitar before? What did you play? Were you playing like rock or something?
Dude. So honestly, like I started off playing like a bunch of Latin stuff, like in like Latin fusion stuff. So like I was big into Al Di Meola, which is like this jazz fusion guy, and I loved John McLaughlin. I loved Santana. Um,
Mhm.
like it was really a bunch of classic rock stuff at first, like Santana, Jimi Hendrix, Led Zeppelin,
Mhm.
Floyd, stuff like that, and I would just like learn their solos, and then at some point, I think maybe 5 years into it, I found the Mars Volta, and like I went down this dark path.
Oh, you found the Mars Volta.
I
That's
learned
it.
like so many of
Done.
their songs, and like I got obsessed with like the
Once you
tone
hear the
of.
Mars Volta, you never go back.
I actually have a Volta cover that is sick as fuck. It's Albia, and I'm working on that in the background too. It's like a synthwave, fucking like Mars Volta, but if that's such a trip song. But yeah, I mean, I did that forever, and then like I went into college, and when I was in college, I
Mhm.
studied jazz improv, and that's when I started to learn about the modes and like a lot of
Yeah.
theory stuff that really I didn't even know shit about. So like
Mm.
I guess the
Isn't that like a whole different world, bro? Like when you start learning about like, see, I know the names of the modes, I just don't know them. I just play shit, and then I'm like, ah, this kind of works, and then so it would take a normal person that'll tell me like, okay, I'll write this song in the key of B in this minor or whatever. I'm gonna write it in Ionian or whatever the fuck, or Lydian or whatever
right.
the fuck. And I'm like, oh, that's cool. What the fuck does that mean? I don't know. I have no. So people ask me like, what key's your song? I'm like, well, whatever key the open low string is at, that's the key of the song.
Yeah, it's seriously, it's like a whole different way to perceive, and like I think the feeling is the same because like it's like, oh well, I can feel what I'm playing versus
Mhm.
know what I'm playing,
Yeah.
and then kind of like bring them together. And
Yeah, it's one thing.
yeah,
It's very interesting because it's very different. Like I want to like I want to get somebody that can teach me those things because it'll especially like writing progressive metal music. Like fuck, bro. Like I see I can do key changes by ear. So most of the stuff that I can write, I can figure it out. Like I know when I want to hear something, but I feel like just learning the different keys, especially like the keys and modes on the guitar, would open up my playing to so many different levels of shit that I can do.
oh yeah,
Especially with like different harmonies, different vocal things I can do, keyboard production. It's just I haven't found like well, I'm not gonna say I haven't found it. I know good teachers. I just haven't like sat down with them and been like, hey man, I want you to teach me, but I want you to teach me in the sense of guitar.
right. Yeah, I mean, I think that's kind of the beauty of guitar too, is like it's such a visual instrument. So
Yeah.
if you weren't big into reading music, you could sit down with somebody who knows tons of like really cool progressions and stuff through the
Mm.
modes. And actually know a guy in the synthwave group that I think I invited you
Mhm.
to. I could get you in touch with him, but he does like remote
Mhm.
classes. So if you're good at that, you could
Oh
like
shit.
sit down, do a class through Zoom or something,
Hmm.
and then just do whatever study stuff they give you. But yeah, it's like I never got to the point where I could sight read as fast as I
Yeah.
played. It just wasn't my strength. So it was more for
Yeah.
me.
Sight reading is a whole different world on guitars and keyboard. Like anything that's like multi-fingered is just like it looks like a I don't know Einstein equation to me. I used to read music when I was in high school because I used to play the saxophone. Um or like when I used to play cello, because it was like one note kind of stuff.
Right.
That's fine, I can read it. But when it comes to like guitar, like all the a chord, I'm like, fuck this. I have no idea what I'm looking at. I seriously don't. I'm just like, bro,
No,
listen, I'll
I
just
feel
play
you on that.
whatever works.
That's still a lot of how I feel about the instrument. Guitar was always so weird to me. It was an enigma because like how it wasn't like the keyboard. It didn't
Mm,
repeat. So I mean, like for me, like if you were to get into the modes and you really wanted to understand them, I found a video years ago, and then I had a teacher who like reiterated this, but like I learned all the modes in just the key of E because you had just the
mm,
low E to start with. So essentially, you droned just the E chord the whole time on the open E, and then you would play all the different positions of the modes along the neck, and then you kind of
mm.
just get that down and you memorize them all. And
Yeah,
essentially, like if I could, man, if I didn't have the gloves on, I could show you. But essentially, it's just one pattern. There's just the major scale. That's all that exists.
yeah.
So just the major scale exists with the modes. So as far as the pattern and the shape with your hands, right? So
Mm,
depending where you start and play the major scale on the neck with the open E ringing determines which mode you're playing. It's such a
mm.
trip, and it's such an enigma with like how it tricks your brain into thinking it's a feeling and an emotion, as long
Yeah,
as that root note is playing. Because with the root
yeah.
note playing, it just defines where the scale's starting, and it was a trip. So that's how I learned the modes initially, and then I got a little bit deeper into it. But then, yeah,
Oh, we
like
got.
it,
I gotta get a teacher for this.
yeah, dude, when you get honestly, like yeah, when you get the teacher, but like for me, that was the first step. I remember like years ago, just like sitting down and just doing that, just open E and just the major
Yeah.
scale, but starting in different parts of the neck. That's it. And
Okay, that's dope. All right,
then
so I
just
got I
there
gotta
you
try that. I remember doing that years ago when I first picked up the guitar. I was like, oh, this is I didn't know what the hell I was doing. So the only thing that I really learned that I could play all over the neck is like the natural scale, because the natural scale you can modify it where you could be minor, major. I could make it diminished, like that kind of shit. But when it gets like I don't know specifically what I'm like. I know the notation. I know when I'm playing A, G, C. I know the intervals. I just don't know what the fuck. So I just play things that kind of like make sense in my brain, right? But that's pretty interesting. So going back to the bit of the car situation, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm kind of surprised on that Audi, man. What's up? Listen, Audi quality. What's up? Quality control, Audi. What's the customer service? What's up, man? 1 year for you to get your RS? That's ridiculous, man.
Oh, that was just a shortage of the, I think, manufacturers getting the chips, so they were focusing the production on different cars, and then Audi opened up some plants in Mexico. I think Chiapas, Mexico, they opened up a plant there to service the United States with certain models, so like the Q5s and a couple other models were being pushed out of the Mexico plant, so literally you're getting a car built in Mexico, but I mean, they don't know that.
That's pretty crazy.
You have to look on the door. But yeah, like they're building all the Audis over there, and yeah, like all the exclusivity of the R models and some of the more high-end stuff, they just really fucking dialed back as hard as they could, because that wasn't their prerogative for making money.
Yeah.
You know, those were more like the fun cars that everyone is going after, but they're like, well, we're just going to cut production numbers down to like less than 90 per, for the United States or whatever. So it was just like ridiculous. So
all right, so I'm gonna ask you a question. I'm gonna write down what I think you're going to answer. Okay.
Okay.
So this is gonna be a fun one. All right. So here we go. I'm writing down right now what I think you're going to say.
Oh, fun. I'm gonna try to drink this.
Okay. Ooh. I have my answer, but this is what I think you're going to answer when I say this. All right. If you had any car, if you had the money to buy any car that you could right now, what would it be? Money is no objection, and it doesn't matter.
I guess if I was really gonna do like just like splurge, it would be on something fast again, because it's just like I'm an adrenaline junkie. It would suck. I would probably pre-order the Tesla Roadster. It's not even out yet, but it should be out shortly.
The Roadster? Okay. All right. Well, all right. I was close. This is what I wrote down. I wrote Cybertruck.
Oh, yeah. That's cool. I mean,
I missed the C.
Like, I'd rather have a Ford Raptor over a Cybertruck, because just like, I know those, you can punish the shit out of them.
Yeah. He said he was going into full production with them. I'm not sure when, but he's like, they're like trying to make it, I guess. I don't know if it's because they don't have pre-orders. I don't know.
Yeah, it's already been spotted, like driving around like LA and outside Austin and stuff. They're working. It's almost there. So I mean, should be cool, for what it is. If you're into that.
It's okay. So this is gonna be a funny one. So let's say you got arrested tomorrow, right? And there was no explanation as to why you got arrested. Why do you think? What do you think your friends and family would think that you got arrested for?
Sheesh. Oh, I don't know. They would say freak. I don't know. Drug use, drinking and driving, something dumb.
Drinking and driving.
I've had a few.
Listen, Viagra is not illegal.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. Get pulled over after you pop some Viagra. That's got to be a fun time.
I was like, "What's up?" And your mate. Do you imagine coming out of your seat wearing what you're wearing right now, with a bottle of Viagra and a yerba mate?
Yeah.
They're gonna look at your bulge and be like, "Oh my god, what is this man on?"
Like, sir, sit back down.
I would suspect that you got arrested for speeding or something, trying to run away from the cops.
Oh yeah, no, I wouldn't run from the cops.
No,
I had a friend do that. Like right outside of high school, and it wasn't pretty. So I think I learned watching him.
It's like one of those things, like great men. What is it? What is the saying that goes? Some men learn from their mistakes. Some men learn from others' mistakes.
Yeah. I definitely lived vicariously through that experience. It was a little traumatic for him, so I was like, yeah.
How did that happen? When did that happen? What, like in high school or something?
Oh yeah.
Oh, it was one of those times.
Just one
the
of those
rebellious
times,
teenager.
Decided instead of stopping for the cop, he would just run. So cool. Well,
so how's Texas for you, man? Is it good over there? How's it going? Is it hot?
Where I live in El Paso right now. It's a little warm. I'm used to the heat, so it's not that bad. But yeah, it's dry up here. It's like 4,000 feet elevation, so it's
Ooh.
high elevation. It's just
Mhm.
dry from the humidity. It's not like Houston, like I lived there for a little bit. Houston's rough. Um, Probably similar to where you're at in Florida, like as far as subtropics kind of feel very
Yeah. Yeah,
muggy.
hella humid all the time.
Yeah,
It never stops.
always raining at some point, right? So yeah, it's Texas is all right. I don't foresee myself being here too much longer. We'll see. I've been planning to move back to Colorado, just figuring things out in my life right now. And yeah,
Why Colorado? Is it because it snows or something? What do you like about
uh,
Colorado?
I lived there for like I lived there for almost a decade, and I just fell in love with it. And the culture, the music, like venues are sick as
Mm.
fuck. Of course, snowboarding and just like again the culture, like the lifestyle is a little bit different, and people are
Mm.
pretty apt to be a little more outdoorsy. Uh, Different kind of outgoing personalities there versus where I'm at right now, and yeah, I just feel like there's more opportunity for anyone who's into music. There's just more avenues. There's more like recording studios, more venues,
Mm.
and just like a huge culture of people more in that space, living in that space. So where I'm
Yeah.
at here, there's not really big music festivals or anything like that, right?
Mhm.
So Colorado has all that stuff. So it's just like I guess you could say that vibe is alive. So like I wanted to be there and then coalesce with there's some really cool
Mhm.
synthwave cyberpunk people who are up there, like Starfare's up there, and I message him sometimes on Instagram and bother him, but he's cool. He's like me. He's a
Yeah.
dad, produces stuff, and I think he's a graphic designer or something. Um,
Oh, that's
but
pretty cool. Well,
but
that
yeah,
was going to lead me into my other question because I saw that on your IG you have a few pictures where it's just a couple pictures that you're outdoors, like with a backpack. Is that like, were you hiking or something? Is that something that you like to do?
yeah, dude, I fucking love hiking. Like it's literally just huge passion of mine. I've been an outdoors person my whole life. I
Mhm.
like to get out there and explore. Sometimes maybe I'll microdose a little mushrooms and have a good time with
Have a good
nature.
old time.
Yeah, a little bit. And yeah,
Have you
dude,
ever done too much mushrooms?
yes.
Have you ever done the god dose?
Yes.
How
Unfortunately, yeah. Like over
explain
five
that to
grams.
me because I've never done them and I'm too scared to do mushrooms because like I don't like anything that messes with my psyche. So
Mm-hmm.
explain to me how that was. How do you go into something like that?
Well, grudgingly, like you're gonna fight it. So at first, like you're gonna experience the ego death, because you're gonna get very anxious, and you're not gonna want it to happen. You're gonna be
Yeah.
There's a lot of pushback because you feel it coming on, and you're like, no, I don't want this. Get away from me. And there's that moment of where like you feel like it's not gonna end, but really
Mm,
it's just beginning. And then at a certain point, you have to just let the fuck go
mm,
and give into it and let it show you what it wants to show you. Because oftentimes, I think people think they can go into a mushroom trip with like an idea about what they want to work on or what they want to think about, what they want to,
yeah.
solve or change within themselves. And the trip goes completely the opposite way because that's never what you're looking for.
Mm,
It's what it wants to show you.
yeah.
So, I mean, you can get other questions answered along the way, but yeah, if when you take something over 5 grams, it's like feels like a pretty normal trip. Maybe the first 45 minutes, and then once the
Mm,
hour comes along, then you start seeing the geometric field and the what I like call the geometric fabric and everything,
mm,
because everything has its own pattern and moving visible waves and stuff in like texture, walls, people, plants, animals, everything's just moving. You see that
mm,
wave, and then at a certain point, you're not going to move. You're just I'd rather just lay down, close my eyes, and go
yeah.
inward. And when you go inward, that's when you can really like dive deeper into whatever that matrix is of like wherever you go, you go into that inward matrix, and then it's like you close your eyes and it's a whole different reality. And then it's almost like at some point when the trip gets really, really strong, we all have this internal dialogue where we talk to ourselves.
Yeah.
And it's always in your native language. So you're talking to yourself in English or whatever language that you were born with. You're talking to yourself in that language in your head. And then literally out of nowhere, it's like the words become useless and you stop using the words, and then the whole communication between you and the experience becomes emotion. And there's no more words. There's no more thinking. There's no more dialogue. It's just fucking emotion. And that's
Wow.
like the fastest way to learn. And I think how people heal through things is because I think the problem is we try to contextualize so much of our experience and so much of our trauma and stuff with words, which are very limiting to
Yeah.
the reality. And then once you start thinking on a level of just emotion and feeling through it versus thinking through it, that's when I think the healing happens and you have more profound experiences. They say you got to feel it to heal it. So, like, if you're not feeling that experience, it's really hard to digest it. And
Would you be able to like do the same thing on a microdose, or no? Do you need to like
no,
go
it's
all
not
in?
quite the same. I mean, microdosing is different. I at least feel microdosing just a small little reminder to like keep a certain vibe about your mindset and how you're perceiving the world. And I think they're very good at, if you're so rigid in like one way without it and then you microdose, it kind of shows you a little more like color and a little more sound influence. And you're like, oh, life's beautiful. Like I need to learn to love this moment and just take it in and like be present with whatever it is that I'm doing versus thinking about the future or regretting my past or thinking about what I'm going to like, instead of just being caught up, I think it helps you just slow down and like take in whatever it is that you're experiencing at that time.
But after you had that experience, do you feel like something in you like changed outside of it?
I'm going to turn off my notifications real quick. Hold on. If I can. I think that's a big one. So I don't think we changed.
The phone committed suicide.
It's weird. So to me, it's like, when you're like learning a math problem.
Oh, because I only see your chest.
Oh, it is.
Actually, try going out and coming back in with the camera horizontal, because it looks stretched.
And
We're gonna get this right.
I know. I hate doing this on my phone. That's me.
Yeah, but now you look wide. We have 200-pound Atlas Neon in the house.
Whoa.
Whoa. Whoa.
Hold on here. I think I can figure this out.
It looks like it's funny because on my screen when I see it, it looks like an alien mask, like the long face,
Oh, dude. Yeah. So what do I mean, I'm not the pro at this. Like, what do I press?
I don't know. I've never had a phone do that on me. What are you using, an iPhone?
Yeah.
That's kind of weird. I don't know. It's never done that to me. Oh, that looks normal.
Okay, cool. Let me close that then. Better?
Well, I can see the other camera. I can see your desk.
Okay.
Oh, look, we have the same laptop stand.
Oh yeah, bro. Little fucker.
And the same keyboard.
All right.
Look at us. We're professionals, everyone.
How do I flip it around? What the fuck? Dude, I obviously have never used this before, so
Well, obviously, the people who made the iPhone didn't think that people were going to restream on it.
Front camera. Oh, hi. Is that better?
That's better. Yeah, just keep it. Yeah, just keep it like that. Keep it vertical. It's fine. Does it? Nah. Just go the other way.
It keeps doing it.
It keeps doing it.
That's so weird.
Right. Well, at least there, I can see you in full screen.
Oh yeah, man. Well, my bad.
You look a little wide, but you look muscular wide.
Oh.
Now you look like a Martian. Yes.
That's good. Yeah. I don't know. To me, it all looks normal. Maybe it's like, I don't know. But
So what when you after you got off, let's say I've heard that the trips are pretty long. They're like 6-8 hours depending on how much you take. After you got off of it, what changed? What do you see a permanent change in your character?
Like to kind of go back to that, I feel like it's not that I change, it's that I rediscover something about myself that was lost. So, like I was saying, it's kind of like a math problem.
Mhm.
So, you know, like you're learning a math problem, and then once you figure out how it works, you're like, oh, shit,
Yeah,
like that. That's how it feels. It's
it's like
like,
an epiphany.
yeah, it's like it was always there, though. It's like you always kind of knew it. You just had to be shown it. And I feel like when that happens internally, you just embody that version of yourself like it was always there. It was just existed in a multiverse of a dimension, I guess, right? It's like you
Mhm.
saw a higher version of yourself through this epiphany or through this experience. And instead of just watching that person or thinking of that person, you decide to embody and be that person.
Mhm.
And that's what I think happens to people after their, you know, crazy psychedelic experiences is that they've chosen to become that version of themselves, that higher version. And, you know, I guess you, like you were saying, assume that identity.
Mhm.
And that's how I feel about it. I feel like it's just parts of ourselves that maybe we only think about or we don't fully acknowledge, or, you know, in a lot of cases, you didn't realize you were capable of, or didn't realize that could be you, you know, or
Yeah.
you had limiting beliefs and doubts on who you are and you told yourself a story your whole life that, oh, I'm not this, I'm too shy,
Mhm.
oh, I'm not this, I'm not a go-getter. Like you just tell yourself all these stories based on your experiences, and then like you do some weird plant medicine and it just like wipes that shit the fuck out like it never existed. It's like it's like
Yeah,
why
it ties in it ties in very deeply to spirituality, which, you know, in your music, for example, like your logos and the stuff they use is very like celestial, almost like very like dimensional.
yeah, yeah, I feel
Is
that.
that something that you got from going into doing mushrooms, or is it something that you've already
Yeah.
kind of known for a while and then you just went into it and then it just kind of like what are you
uh,
interpreting that through your music somehow?
I think I don't know if my music is a big interpretation on some of that stuff. Like I mean, I definitely I'll say this like just briefly. Like I've had some experiences with ayahuasca 10 years ago, which
Mhm.
made me realize that playing guitar wasn't going to be for me because a lot of the sounds I heard and experienced in that dimension were more like replicated better on a keyboard, you know?
Mhm.
So I guess the music is somewhat of a cross contamination of like some of those ideas and I guess perceptions.
Yeah.
And it's kind of fully realized of like realizing that that stuff exists out there
Mhm.
or can exist out there, but we're still in this reality. So trying to still be grounded to, you know, this reality, some pop culture stuff here in this reality, things like that. So yeah, my music has some of that kind of influence, but not like full on, I don't know, full on like Spangle or anything like that. Like
Yeah.
I'm not sure if you're familiar with them, but like full on, you know, DMT vibes and weird stuff like that.
So have you ever gone into any like level of like let's say spiritual study, right? Like are you the kind of person that like digs into things like the Akashic records and stuff like that?
Honestly, I had just really read about that in the last year, and I wasn't super affluent onto what it is or what it meant for me, and I haven't gone too deep into that stuff. I literally barely just had like a tarot card reading done me in the last year, and I have a friend who like helps me do that kind of stuff. Like she's just a huge tarot card person, so like
Mhm.
I'll be like, yeah, let's do this and that and that. And I mean, I just there's a lot of stuff that I really haven't dived into about how deep that whole world is because it's massive, and I honestly don't know enough about it, and I would love to learn more about so many different aspects of that. I feel
Yeah.
like I know the fundamentals of like you know why I'm here and et cetera like that, but not so much the the mechanics of it because I feel like when you get into like that kind of stuff, readings and like astral projection and things like that. That's all learning mechanics and like how to, I don't know, travel with your soul and things like that. And that's like fucking awesome shit. I just don't know enough about it yet. So I'm a student. I'm a student of, I guess, of just that kind of lifestyle.
Yeah. Oh, that's pretty cool, man. So if you like, so like I do tarot readings, right? It's something that I do. It's something that I do for fun. Like I don't really tie it too much into like spirituality. To me, it's more of like a psychological thing. So, I mean, like I do that stuff. It's fun. For a while, I was part of like this big spiritual community, right? I learned how to do like Akashic record readings and stuff like that. So it was very interesting. So I'm assuming that you know at least some sort of sacred geometry.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah, because I
Like,
could see it like in your graphic design, like it's there, it's everywhere.
yeah, I got that really all happened with the experiences with DMT and ayahuasca. Like I saw all the sacred geometry and mushrooms too. You see that pattern and everything. So it's like, there's certain, like fundamental things like the seed of life, that turns into the tree of life, and then of course you have the flower of life, and then there's like all these other patterns that evolve from that. And it's like I'm obsessed with that because it's like constantly something I will see when I do hallucinate or do some sort of plant medicine or something like that. I do see that everywhere. So like I know it's a fabric that's fundamental underlying, and it's always present even if we can't see it or like feel it per se. And sorry, like I've been getting over a cold. My throat is a little beat up.
Oh, bro, I feel you. Like for the last 3 weeks, I've just been like coughing all the time. I don't necessarily think I have a cold anymore. I think it's just like the vape juice that I'm using. Like when you vape this fucking thing, like there's different juices, right? So like there's different brands. This is something that I tried new, and ever since I tried it, like I started coughing more. So I don't know. But I'm still like when I first changed it, I was going through a cold, which is a stupid mistake. It is what it is, right? You get over it. So
Right. Let me
yeah.
Can I ask you one quick thing just to kind of touch about this subject? Because I think a lot of people may not be aware, but like, have you read the Flower of Life, the book series by
Yes.
Dr. Okay, so that was like a big influence of mine that I read that maybe 10 years ago. And that's when I got huge into like, the star tetrahedron and, the invisible kind of shield around our bodies and how we all embody that, like, essentially that life force around us in that shape. That was actually my first tattoo I ever got was the star tetrahedron on my wrist. And, like I was reading about the Merkaba and all that kind of stuff. And like, I was really into that. I was like about it. I thought it was fucking cool. And I think I started to incorporate that into, again, design, music, logo stuff. I actually put that on a t-shirt recently. The star tetrahedron, just because it's just, to me, it means something, that's like deeper than just like a shape, or like someone be like, oh, that's cool shape or whatever, It's like, oh no,
Cool
to me,
shape. Yeah, because some people they get it tattooed or something. They're just like, oh yeah, it's sacred geometry, but they have no idea what it actually means. Like they just like they saw it somewhere. They saw that all these metal. Well, at least like I want to say probably like 4 or 5 years ago, a lot of like the progressive metal bands, they all got into doing like this sacred geometry stuff. It's very like cosmic. And it's like, do you guys even know what that means? Like, is it just like a trend for you guys? Like, I don't,
I feel like Tool started all that shit.
Yeah, but Tool started that like what, 13 years ago? Like no, 30 years, 20 something years ago. So I guess like the music came back. Yeah. So like the music came back and people were like, oh shit, this is what this means, Because if you read the lyrics, what he's saying, like lateralis or like vicarious, you read that, that's what he's talking about. But I guess now it's done like full circle.
I think they were just a little too far ahead, and even some of my friends at the time who were so into them, because like I was obsessed with them as much as like other people, but like I think people just didn't grasp the concepts really. They didn't understand that that's what the conversation was about, And then I think with the whole resurgence of like that kind of like new metal and stuff coming out again, like I think the younger generation just grabbed onto it and was like, oh yeah, that shit. They're like, fuck yeah, like throw it on the album, like that shit's fucking tight. Let's fucking I vibe with that. I know what that means. So yeah, I think they were just too far ahead of their time, because like they were, they were like this spiritual like new metal, or I don't even know what we call them, industrial experimental kind of like thing happening at the time of like, I don't know, like Slipknot and Korn and all this like super poppy metal stuff. And,
like there were bands that were definitely still like progressive. Like you still had like Dream Theater, right? Or like I mean, back in this, I think it's the 60s or 70s, you had bands like Yes, where they were fucking awesome. You listen to a song from Yes and you could hear Opeth all over it, and this was like back in the 70s. So it's kind of interesting how like that molded the new, but like Tool is so obscure, right? Because they're like, it's one of those things like it's heavy, but it's dark. It's not like, it's not I call it dick wavy music. It's not dick wave metal, right? Like these new progressive metal bands are all like rhythmically like shredding on the guitars. Like it's like fully made to like fit a rhythmic mold. where like you listen
Yeah.
to Tool and it's
Oh
like
yeah,
it's
very
none of that.
different.
Like the musicians themselves are just like we just play. Like the drums are doing their own thing over here. Maynard is singing very of these like heavy ass guitars with like these weird off time bass rhythms. You're like, what the fuck, you know? But it just all comes together so nice, right?
Yeah, that's something they nailed because like I wasn't super fluent with different time signatures and things like that, and when I got into them, I started to learn about that kind of stuff, and I was like, oh shit, like
Yeah.
it's a whole nother world, and especially like exactly what you said, like they kind of. I feel like they kind of maybe even came up with some other ideas, maybe under the influence of something, because like it's literally like they're all walking different paths, but then they come together. It's kind of like Bitches Brew from Miles Davis, that weird jazz album where they kind of all just doing different things, but it comes into that vibe.
Yeah.
And when it's all together, it's that vibe. But at the same time, there's so much methodical like structure behind what they're doing, and I guess you
Yeah,
could
it
say
is.
they
It's
were.
it's so it's very interesting to me because normally when you have like the new metal progressive bands, like everything's like very technical. So you have to be a very technical guitar player. Like you have to be like almost to the point where you have to become almost a virtuoso on the guitar to like play these kind of things, right?
Sure,
Or
yeah.
like to be the bass player, or to be the singer, you have to know how to scream high, low, sing high, harmonies, do the you learn how to do everything as a vocalist. Where like you look at Tool and it's like, well, if you break down any one of these things that are being played, they're not technically complicated. They're very simple songs, but when it comes together, you're like, holy shit, how the fuck? Because it's like what you said. It's like, how the fuck do you come up with all of this stuff, all this chaos coming together and making like one rhythm? And to be honest, for the longest time, I wasn't a fan of Tool. Not that I wasn't a fan. Let me rephrase that. So, because Tool fans will kill me. In high school was the first time that I heard Schism from Tool, and I didn't like the song. I was just like, well, this is kind of like, eh. Now, a few years later, I was dating this chick. She was a huge Tool fan. Like she had like the eye tattooed on her wrist and everything. She ever watches it, she knows exactly who she is. She's cool as fuck. But and she's the one that's like, oh, you ever heard of Tool? I'm like, yeah, but yeah, I don't really like them, whatever. And then she started introducing me to the other stuff that like the not mainstream Tool, and I'm like, yo, this is the shit. And ever since then, that's it. I've been in love with Tool. And then you had like bands like the Contortionists come out that were kind of like in a very similar vibe, when they did Language and stuff like that. So you see it like it's a little bit more now pronounced. Like you can tell like, oh, this band is got an influence from Tool. So, but yeah, I
Right.
wasn't the biggest fan of Tool until I heard their other stuff.
Oh no, I can agree with that as well, especially kind of being like growing up in the late '90s, the 2000s, and like being influenced by what was on television all the time. Then it's like
Mhm.
when you actually got the CDs and dived in deeper, you're like, oh fuck, like okay, that's like you say I didn't expect. That's actually better.
So because you make electronic music now, you could say it's electronic music, electronic, a little bit of synth wave, a little bit of. I've heard some of your stuff that has a bit of dubstep thrown in it. What would you? Because okay, like let me try to explain this question, right? Like the stuff that I
Yeah.
see you coming out with, right? Like Midnight Vibes, like the song that we did, Miami Vampire and stuff like that.
Mhm.
It's still very like 80s influenced, but it has a modern sound to it, right? So I need to ask you this, but I've also heard your other stuff. Do you rather listen to Daft Punk or Dead Mouse?
Oh, that's honestly Daft Punk.
Yeah,
Just because yeah, they were a huge influence of mine for forever. Like I just their shit was just always like fucking cool. Like they just funky. And I more
Mhm,
like I guess I lean more towards the funk than I do. I
mhm,
guess I would say the electronic kind of stuff.
mhm,
What you can hear, and I mean, I think most the bass lines, almost every bass line I write, I've either written actually on the bass and just transposed it to MIDI,
mhm.
versus just using like a bass with an ARP on it or just like a 16th note repeating thing that most synthwave things are. They just play, four bass notes and it's just like I try to write a hook with the bass. You know what I mean? So it's like
Yeah,
Daft Punk was always very fucking good at that. Very, very good at
yeah,
creating these like hooky, funky, poppy kind of things. And so yeah, I would say more Daft Punk for sure.
yeah. That's kind of what I expected because of the whole get up. Also, like I mean that Dead Mouse does wear a mask, but you're right, like electronic house, trance kind of music. Where
Mm-hmm.
Daft Punk has like a funk electronic vibe to them. It's almost like if Prince wrote electronic music, right?
Right, yeah, funktronic. Like I don't even know what to call it. Like
Funktronic.
I'm
Funktronic.
just, I mean, like I just try to. I've been trying to like not describe my music, but try to easily describe my music to people. And I guess now I'm just gonna say futuristic synthwave because it's like
Mm.
synthwave, but it's like too much modern shit going on, so it's not synthwave. It's futuristic synthwave. So like
Yeah.
it's kind of an oxymoron. It's like, well, synthwave is replicating something from the past,
Yeah. Yeah,
but in
that's
the
that's one
present.
thing that I
But
caught
not making
because like
futuristic.
if you listen to an artist like The Weeknd, for example, when he was doing a lot of the retro stuff, he still does it now, but like it's clearly 80s just brought back. But the way that you
Yeah.
write it, it's 80s sound. Well, it's an 80s vibe, but modern. Like it still sounds like it could be played today, like in a club, almost, right? So you're not
No, yeah.
using your traditional like gated reverb drums, none of that. You're using
Mhm.
modern sounds.
Yeah, and that's something like I to me again as far as like my writing process is like maybe say I will make the structure of a song very very fucking modern. Like I know it's
Mhm.
gonna have a build and a drop, which didn't exist in the '80s. They're all used to like pre-chorus and chorus and
Mhm.
bridge and outro. People don't do bridges anymore. That shit doesn't exist. It's
Yeah.
basically just like drop, breakdown, and into last, rise and drop. It's like there's usually just two drops now throughout electronic music. So I think I take some of the modern writing elements, which are really just Mickey Mouse, pretty basic, like
Mhm.
ABA format or whatever, just super basic shit. And then I just take the sounds and incorporate them into that template. So it's kind of like I have the 80s vibe is kind of just subconscious in there because it's the sound. It's
Yeah.
like the key sounds, the fucking bass sounds, the DX keyboard basses, and then like the Moog's fucking keyboards and shit like that. And then, that I'll sprinkle in different modern bass sounds from Serum and, maybe just like different snares. Like I'm known to use different snare sounds throughout something. I might have three different snares,
Mhm.
maybe not just one throughout. And that way, like the drop has maybe like a dubstep snare, the verse has maybe a synthwave snare, but
Mhm.
not super gated. You know what I mean? Like I don't want to exhaust like my, exhaust it with
Yeah.
that feeling. So like I just kind of like juggle between some of that stuff to try to find like I know, oh, I want this vibe, I want this vibe. And I think that's helped me define, I guess, my voice a little more as I'm losing
Mhm.
my voice. Like, yeah.
So if in the future, like when you do start playing bigger shows, right? Let's say if tomorrow you got a chance to play with a bigger band, right, or a bigger artist, who do you see yourself fitting in with?
Mm, there was man, there was this one group. Hold on, let me see if I can show you. I
That
had found this
bulge,
guy
that
recently.
god bulge.
Watch out. So honestly, like I would love to. There's like some groups that I love. I don't know how I would perfectly blend in with them. Like I love Big Gigantic. I love Grizz. Um, I like Black Tiger Sex Machine. Um, shit, dude. Like I'm trying to. Like I feel like those are bigger things because like I mean, again, like if we talk about synthwave or cyberpunk, you can't really. You can name some of these already really big people who are in the scene, but they're not
Mhm.
like big on the level of like what some of these other American DJs and stuff are playing.
Yeah.
Um, but I guess I would want to be with someone who's like doing either a blended set, like half electronic and live, like maybe Break Science and Big Gigantic and Grizz, like they have a live drummer that plays over their stuff. I feel like my music could easily do that if I found a drummer who could jive with it.
Yeah.
So like I like that idea. So want to maybe like play shows with people like that, see how they do their sets, and maybe learn from them, and then in the future incorporate that into my own kind of stuff. So yeah, I would say,
That'd be really cool because I even know like a few metal bands that do that. I think there's I saw them years ago. I forgot the name. I think it's a band called Quantize or something like that, where it's just a guitar player and a drummer, and they do like this weird blend. I mean, it's all playback, obviously, because the guitar player is playing the guitar, or the drummer's playing the drums. But they
mhm.
have like this whole set that's quantized with electronic music. And if later remind me, and I'll send you the link. It's like heavy metal, electronic, but it's live. It's like drummers bashing the shit, metal drums, electronic step sounds with fucking guitar breakdowns. It's insane. It's fucking crazy. I think they're actually from Canada.
There's
But
there's some dark synth guy I found like that called like Easy Door or something like that. I probably saying his name wrong. I literally just found him a couple weeks ago
Mhm.
because I think following him on IG or something, and I think I just saw some videos of them, and that's literally like they were like at a metal show and they started playing all this stuff, and they're like with like their guitars and shit,
Yeah.
but it was like dark punk, like dark cyberpunk, dark synth shit, and I was like, dude, this is sick as fuck. I was like, I didn't like, I'm like, they're doing the whole thing. Like, I thought metal would still be, people doing
Mhm.
just, full on, like, oh, only raw, no like full electronic stuff. But I think,
It's changing.
probably
It's
have,
definitely changing. I think
yeah,
it's especially down here in Florida. Like for a long time when I was first playing in rock bands and stuff like that, a lot of the bands down here were like they were like that where they were like still need the traditional tube amp, no playback, no click, fuck that shit. We're just gonna jam in our garage and write songs. Where it's now evolved to the point where the high bands now, it's still a rock band. Like it's not a lot of electronic stuff because a rock or heavy metal band, but they have like the playback elements. Like they have the bass drops now, and they have like the staccato keyboards and shit like that. Where it's like it's almost. I guess a lot of people listen to Born of Osiris. And they were like, you
cool.
know what? I like Born of Osiris. They have keyboards with the heavy breakdowns and the guy going "Whoa" in the fucking background. So let's do that. But it's evolved. It's evolved definitely. So now people are more open to using like the in-ear monitors. It's not so much about just jamming in a garage now. Like you have one guy in the band
Yeah,
who's the producer that writes the music. Everybody else kind of like puts their input in it. So it's definitely evolving, even at a local
yeah.
level.
Oh, I think even a good way to say it is that the whole genre has been kind of streamlined, where it's
Mhm.
easily accessible now for people to actually perform it because they don't have to do a solid year of practice to get tight and develop that pocket with each other. It's like, oh well, we could practice
Mhm.
with the computer in your monitors and shit. In like fucking 3 months, we could probably perform something. We have good tracks.
Mhm.
We
Yeah.
could easily just get out there and do it because it's always going to be on time. No one's fucking up except the instrument you're playing live. So I think
Yeah.
that's a huge plus for everybody because we get
Mhm.
music faster. We get more people making music, and then more variations of what the music could be, which is I think is ultimately the best thing for it, and
Mhm.
for this music to just keep evolving and seeing where it's going to go from there.
And it's also another layer of adding like emotional expression in the music, right? Because if you're just playing like your typical diminished breakdown, it's like all right, cool, it's a diminished. But if if you get your diminished breakdown and you add like these like weird dark triads behind it, it's like oh shit, like it opens it up to a whole new way of expressing it. You could change that to another key and then you go into something else. So it's definitely opened it up, especially with like using pads and stuff like that. Which I'm a huge fan of pads. I love my pads.
Oh
I
yeah,
love
fuck
I
yeah.
put pads in everything because to me it represents like I like instrumental music. So like if I listen to something like Andromeda, I like to listen to like the pads and the little staccato things going on in the background. Like I love that shit.
Yeah, that leads into like the ethereal kind of celestial like shit in the background. You know what I mean? Because you have
Yeah.
such a strong, aggressive, rhythmic driving force with the song, and then you kind of just have that stuff layered in the back, kind of just floating, and
Yeah.
it's a whole different element. I love that shit too.
By the way, I like the light you have in the ceiling. Is that a skylight?
What the lamp behind me?
The light on the ceiling. The projector
Yeah.
light?
Oh fuck it. It's what the fuck's it called? Galaxy lamp.
Oh, it's a galaxy lamp, dude. That looks awesome. It looks like I used to have a skylight that I bought at center, but it didn't. It was only one color. It didn't have like the red and the blue and purple
Oh
like
yeah,
that.
this one like you can just push the button and it changes to most the colors. I think like blue, mainly primary. Like it's
Mhm.
got a couple different variations that it blends with the primaries, but it's like green, blue, red.
That's
Then
pretty
this
dope.
one,
Like,
what the
like
fuck
us,
is this?
us and our
Oh, it's
neon
got
lights.
like blended of blue and red, so it's like pinkish, blue, red. It's probably my favorite one, actually. Yeah. I was
That's
gonna say if
fucking
it was
dope.
dark, it'd really be glowing. Because I didn't realize, like Florida, the time difference would still be sunny here. So I was like, oh, I wanted to
No,
be
it's
like
it's dark
glowing with the
already outside.
sun behind me.
It's
No,
dark
but yeah,
already over
I
here,
love
man. So okay, so what do you have in the works? What are you planning on making like any music videos or anything like that? Any like performance
Oh,
videos? I see you doing it all the time
oh, yeah.
on Reels.
Okay. So yeah, that's the thing. So I just started a TikTok. like a couple weeks ago,
Yeah,
and I thought I was gonna hate TikTok. I've never had a TikTok, and I was like,
I hate
I don't
TikTok.
know if my thing. I don't know. So I just did TikTok. I made a video, and like, I mean, it did pretty well. And then like I put a couple more videos up, and now I think I'm getting good traction. So I'm gonna make more stupid TikTok videos soon. I'm gonna I'm gonna film a ridiculous fucking video soon for my Will Smith Miami cover that I made. And I'm talking fucking ridiculous. I probably spent $200 on props on Amazon so I can have props and like, guns that shoot money and like fucking stupid shit like kiddie pools and all sorts of random
in
bullshit.
in true in true Deadpool style.
Yeah, yeah. So like
Oh, we got Roms over here.
I'm gonna focus on TikTok just because it's like I'm reaching a group of people that I've never actually communicated with, so it's kind of cool. Plus, I can be kind of quirky and creative, which is kind of leading into like who I am. So I'm gonna do that. No full on music videos. I mean, like all the TikTok videos will be only so long,
Hmm.
and then I gotta
Have you
finish
have
this
you
album.
have you tried? Well, before I ask you, like we got D-ROMs in the house. The hell is going on here, bro? What did I just click on? You are now live ROMs with the discount Yezzy Deadpool, Mr. Atlas Neon.
What's up, D?
Roms is awesome. He's a music producer from South Florida. He does a lot of like voiceover stuff, and he writes for a band called Falsetta. It's awesome. It's dope.
Yeah, tight. Well, welcome, dude. Thanks for joining us.
He says, by the way, don't be a boomer. TikTok is awesome. I try using TikTok, bro. It's not for me. Like I don't I don't know. I don't know what it is. Maybe like now that I do like the podcast, maybe it might work for me. But it's one of those things where it's like it's quick information, and then like my brain can't retain it. So like scrolling through like this, I just can't. Like my friends send me TikTok videos all the time, and I'm just like, bro, I don't want to watch this. Like, I just like it's not. It's like the attention span is just not there for me. Like it doesn't. I don't know. I don't get it. I've tried using it, but it's one of those things where like if you're going to make content on it, it's like you said, right? You have to be like a little bit than just more. It needs to be like you need to be able to get people quick. And I'm just like I'm not good at that content. I'm better at like long form.
Yeah, there's different long form content people on there. I mean, there's this guy that I just found called like CJ Coach or something who talks about like more financial weird guru like stuff, and his videos are like 10 to 15 minutes long. And
oh yeah, you could upload some long videos. Yeah,
like, and he's got over 1 million something people following him. So there's different content people out there. I think the thing with TikTok is there's so many random videos that get promoted each week that go viral, and then you go to those people who had those videos and they don't ever make another piece of content again. They were literally just like your cousin or your best friend went viral, but they're not invested in creating that content. They just had a one-off video that was like
exploded. Yeah,
it was funny, but I think
I do use TikTok for the Modern Man podcast because the shit that we say is so outrageous that it works for that, because people are like, what the fuck are these guys talking about? Like, see, but for like, if I were to make a TikTok like just playing guitar, like I'd feel it'd be like, whatever. It's just a guy playing guitar, Now, if I was playing guitar with a Santa hat, maybe that would work.
You gotta have a little pizzazz or be quirky for people to really engage with it, or it'd be like, I'm playing guitar to a cover about or whatever, or this and that. Like, it's just got to be a different kind of engagement. But
yeah,
like, I like it for a creator standpoint, because I was big on I loved YouTube and making YouTube videos for years, and it was more like car oriented and like car shit. And now that I'm into music, I'm like, YouTube really isn't that place anymore. Like, at least I don't see it so much as that. It is more of a learning tool, not so much an experience tool. And TikTok kind of becoming more the platform for just like content and fun and random short little bits of stuff, even though it's all vertical, like you want to film everything in portrait. So it's a little different. But yeah, granted, I feel like, some of that is ebbing into that from YouTube. But yeah, there's just like, again, you can get lost down the rabbit hole of bullshit random videos, and people dancing or overdubbing things all the time.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of that is just the algorithm in America on what we're shown.
Are
But I
are you
think
planning on doing any like live performance? Guys, I know I followed a few art. Well, I think I have the TikTok. I just don't have it on my phone. But I followed this guy. I forgot what his name was, but he's an electronic producer. He's from California, and he does live shows on TikTok, and he plays everything live. Is that something that you're planning on doing?
nah, not like that so much. I mean, I might spin some things like on my decks for people for content in the future. I mean, I guess yeah, to answer your question in the short term, yes, but I don't want that to be like my thing. You know what I mean? Some people make that their thing where they're great at looping themselves and playing a whole set from looping
Mhm.
stuff live, so that just becomes like their thing. That's not really my strong suit,
Mhm.
but I'll definitely entertain people and dance and learn more Fortnite moves from
There you
YouTube.
go, man. That's what you need. So is there anybody before we close out that you would like to shout out on the podcast? Anybody that you would like to shout out? Anybody that you think that should come on this podcast?
Shit, dude. Honestly, like I wish I could remember everybody, but like the synthwave fam chat that I'm on Instagram, like there's like 30 dudes in there who are like all super supportive of me and each other, and they've all really like I think pushed me to kind of discover this about myself
Mm.
and even this persona and stuff and like the music and stuff. And I would say bring any of those dudes on. I think IL9 was the main guy who set that up, and there's some really good people in there who are just like super motivating producers and synthwave guys, mostly all synthwave. But yeah, I mean, like I'd love to see some of those guys on. I've been good buddies lately with just like chatting with Tyconic Tyler from there.
Mhm.
He's thick as fuck, synthwave guy, maybe a little shy, but his shit is superb and fucking
It's all right. Bring him on
amazing.
here. I'll make him dance.
Yeah, yeah. See, I don't know if they want to be on camera. Some of these guys probably don't want to be on camera.
Yeah.
Um, but like, yeah, but I could definitely recommend people. But I would say I just shout out to that synthwave fam because those guys have been like so supportive. And it's funny, like, we all live day lives and like sometimes we'll
Yeah.
like vent on there, like, oh, shit's happening with the missus or with the kids or
Yeah.
missus taking the kids. Well, I don't fucking know, like whatever the case be. And we're just like
It's a community.
we're
It's a
just
community.
bros. Yeah, they're just bros, dude. So that's my shout out.
That's good. That's a shout out to the chat.
Yeah, to the chat. You guys support me. Thank you. Mwah.
Yeah, go check out Atlas Neon, guys. His links are in the description below. Go check him out. I put links to his IG, his Spotify, and his single on there. Go subscribe to him on YouTube. Go check him out on Spotify. Do your things. He's got a whole bunch of stuff in the works. He's got a few songs out already. And this is what the closing question that I like to ask everybody that comes on this podcast. So, me. So, what is your philosophy on a fulfilling life?
That's a good one. It's a really good one. I would say for me, I think as long as, and this is where I'm at right now in my life, since now that I have a toddler, as long as I can chase my dreams and fulfill what brings me happiness, and for my child to see that and know that he can do whatever the fuck he wants and chase his dreams, that I'm fulfilling my best, highest version of myself. Because, like, to me, that's rooted in the love of wanting to give my kid the best that he can have and not limit him with my past or my traumas. Like, I don't want to limit his beliefs. I want him to believe he can do fucking anything, right? So for me, if I can just live a life that brings me happiness and I can experience the world and share it with other people and inspire them somehow, then to me, that's my way of giving service to people. Because I might not be the best, whatever, like realtor or doctor or whatever the fuck it is. Maybe I can't give service in that way, but I can give service in this realm. So I'm going to do the best I can at it. And yeah, my kid can see that and feel motivated to chase his dreams. And cool, that's living the best life I can right now. So that's where I'm at now. They'll probably change in the future, but that's just kind of where I'm at now.
That's an awesome answer, man. Thank you so much for jumping on and being here with me with Mr. MIGGZPLAYZ on the podcast, man. I really appreciate it. Guys, go down there, go to the links, go follow Mr. Atlas Neon, Go see him do the Deadpool dance as he normally does. So okay, so what I'm gonna do is that the way that I close this off is that I should probably say these things before we like jump off, but is that I'll cut the screen out. We'll stay on. So if you want to chat a little bit after, totally cool. So let me just go ahead and play. So thank you guys for watching. Catch me back on Monday. I have a really cool artist lined up. I hope he doesn't cancel on me because he's not from America. He's from the UK. But we'll see. We'll see how that works. We'll see how that works. So with that being said, thank you guys for catching MIGGZPLAYZ. Thank you, Mr. Atlas Neon, for jumping on here. And I will catch you guys on Monday. No problem, man. No problem. Here we go. Bye, everyone.